Hello, friends. Thanks for joining me. This is Beatrice with Bees Planning and Memory Keeping, and today we are working on week one of my Project Life album. This album is going to be in my 9 by 12, which, by the way, I haven't purchased yet, and we'll be using the pocket page style. So as you can see, I've printed out my pictures into 8 by 12, and I've sized them to 3 by 4s and 4 by 6. These are front page shots of some of either local, or I do Miami Herald because my family is from Cuba, and Miami Herald will normally have something about Cuba on their front page. So if you've never seen this app, it is completely free. It's called, let's see if I can find it. It's called Front Pages, and it is excellent because you can get a shot of pretty much any front page of any newspaper from around the world. And the way it works is like if you go on there today, it will be yesterday's front page. So basically, if you want New Year's Eve, you have to go on there on New Year's Day. And if you want New Year's Day, you'd have to go there on January 2nd because they're always one day behind. So I got those cut up, and then I have some other pictures. And then I realized that that snow picture is actually for week 2. But as I'm cutting this, it still hasn't dawned on me that it's for the wrong week. So now I am just cutting more of these, and I am basically going to use stuff from my stash. I am using the Simple Stories. I don't remember. Hopefully I'll show the name of it. It's from last year. It's their documenting kit that they had last year. They have one for this year, but I haven't purchased it. I'm just trying to decide if I want to purchase it because I still haven't used the one from last year. So I figured I would use the one from last year now, and then I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I keep putting it in my cart over at my little scrapbook store, which I believe she still has this particular kit because it was very popular. And I keep putting the new one in and then taking it out and putting it in and taking it out because I just can't decide. I love the colors. I love everything about it. But I don't know if I want to mix the two because the colors are a little different. And so that is where my struggle is. Plus, I'm also using anything that I find in my stash that will work, including Ali Edwards products, L Studio products, and yeah, I'm not picking a particular collection, and this is how it's going to be. I do plan on every first week of the month to use I don't know if you can see under my cutter, and I will be using it, the January, for example, for each one of the months, February, March, whatever month we're in. And that is my plan, to use this collection and use those two particular cards. That one that says January is one of them. I don't remember if I use the calendar. We will see as we get through this video. But I'm cutting out that January card because I'm definitely using that. And that will be like my card where I have the dates of the week that pertain to the layout. This is an even older set from Simple Stories. I think this was from 2022. And for whatever reason, I liked this calendar better, and that's what I'm going to use. So that's going to go there. And at first, I was using my paper, but then I was like, you know what? Let me just grab. I don't have the right page protectors right now, because this one is three 4x6 and three 3x4s. I want the one that has two 4x6 and five 3x4s. And here's where I'm just laying all my pictures out, and I think I'm kind of happy with this layout, but you'll see that it will change yet again. And by changing, I mean the picture with the snow is going to go because that's for week 2. And so let me tell you a little bit about each of these pictures. So top left corner is my Herald News, and I really loved their front page because of the 2025 and the fireworks. I thought that was very festive and happy. And then the picture below it is of my dog Piper, who loves cozy blankets, probably loves the cozy blankets more than anyone else. If there's a blanket, she's on top of it. I added this top 5 right now. I don't know if I end up using it. I'm pulling out some of the stickers that go with these collections to see if there's something that catches my eye, because I'm thinking, well, maybe I don't have that many stories because it's July. Oh, it's January 1st to January, what is it, 5th? Now I'm drawing a blank. It's January 1st to January 5th. So I don't have that many stories, 5 stories maybe, if that, to tell. And so I'm just trying to see where everything's going to go. My grandson that you see there, he loves propping up the phone like a teenager to talk to me. Like he'll put it up against something so that he can have his hands free and he can show me his snacks and he can show me his toys or whatever he's playing with. But I think it's so funny how he just finds something to prop it up on. I'm looking through these word stickers. I don't think I end up using any of them just because of the font situation is different. But definitely needed to look through them. And again, I'm just kind of going through. If you watched my organization videos, on my desk, I keep a stash of randoms, and I'm basically just going through that right now. I'm trying to find stickers or labels that will match that red, because it's not your ordinary red. It's almost like a orangey red. So I'm looking at the Simple Story sticker book, and these are 3x8 cards that I thought I could possibly use. And let's see what else. So we have, I told you about my grandson. Then we have the 3 bottom pictures, which are Star Ledger, which is a New Jersey newspaper, the New York Times, which is obviously in New York, and then the Miami Herald, because like I said earlier, my family is Cuban, and they tend to put news that pertains to Cuba. And if and I wasn't disappointed. The story there on the right hand side was about Cuba. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some washi tape to keep my pictures together because right now I'm using that particular page protector that is a 4x6. Well, actually, it's going to even, it will continue being a 4x6 when I get my new page protectors, but that way they are together. So I was looking at some of these little stickers to add, and I added a noted. I added everyday moments because that's an everyday thing for her, being on a blankets. So on the left page, right? So I mentioned that the snow picture was actually week 2. That was Monday the 7th, 6th, Monday the 6th. So that's going to be removed. I think now is when I realized, wait, that doesn't belong here. I'm thinking about it. The next picture is of my grandson, my younger grandson, who loves, he always has something in his mouth, whether it's his pacifier or a toy. There's something hanging out of his mouth. And in this particular picture, he had like one of those teething ring toys. His father's holding both his hands because, he's starting to want to try to walk, but he's got toys hanging out of his mouth like a little puppy. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking at my calendar right now to figure out when it actually snowed. So, we'll get back to that picture or what's going to go up there shortly. Yeah, see, I pulled it aside. The pictures of the steaks, I was going to make a Cuban dish, which is basically steak sauteed in onions and garlic, and it's delicious over rice and beans. So I had the picture of the steaks, and then the next picture that you see the green card, and then next to it you see a scale with 2 huge bags, and then under the steak pictures you see a bunch of stuff. So my cousin that lives in down South Florida sent this package to my other cousin who lives in Cuba. They are half siblings, and they've never met and connected for the first time probably about a year ago. I met him, and if you have been on any of my little scrapbook store live videos, I did scrapbook that encounter. He found me on Ancestry, and I knew of his sister, so I connected them, and now they've been connected for over a year, and he's an only, well, he was an only child up until he met his half sister. So it's been a great connection. It's great all the way around. My cousin in Cuba has 2 daughters and 6 grandchildren between those 2 daughters. So if you don't know anything about Cuba, look it up. It is a very, very sad situation that they lived through, and I am happy that we are able to help them. And because I live in a state that I live in New Jersey, there is not a lot of information out there. Plus, there's a lot of scams online. So it's not that I didn't want to help her. For me, it was a little more difficult, and I'm a little weary about finding stuff online because I know there are scammers out there. So that was the first package he sent, and it's basically toiletries, soap, toothpaste, medications like Pepto, Tylenol, things that we take for granted here, things that people, for the most part, we don't worry about not having soap. We don't worry about not having shampoo. We don't worry about not having Tylenol. Even for our infants, we don't worry about that because you just go to the store and you buy it. Over there, you do not find it anywhere. You pretty much have to buy it in the black market. Or if you do find it and it is available, it is very expensive to the point where only rich people can brush their teeth, basically. A very sad reality. And anyway, I don't want to make this video all about that, but if you've never even had any thought of what goes on over there, there's plenty of YouTubers on here that are in Cuba who are professionals and have YouTube channels, and it's a pretty sad situation. So leave me a comment if you're interested. I can leave some comments to some YouTubers that I follow that really is real life. So now I'm looking for my date stamp. We are going to use this one. I think I got this maybe on Amazon. It's just your regular date stamp, and I'm using some archival ink from Ranger, and we're going to stamp this. Just make sure that it works and that don't have it upside down, because I have done that before. January 1st to January 5th. And all I'm going to do to this card is add a little enamel dot in between the dates. And I think that's what I'm looking for as we speak. Yeah, and this actually is from the same collection, so it works that they match. And I'm happy with that, how that looks. It's also from I think this collection's called Noteworthy. It just came to me. I think that's what it's called. I'm not going to add anything to this one because I feel like it's colorful enough. We added our little sticker there that says Everyday Moments. I added a little enamel dot to it. I am going to use this card as a numbered, which I'm going to stamp, and it takes me a minute to find the stamp that even though I have my stamps pretty much cataloged, I'm still struggling with actually using the catalog. I know that sounds crazy, right? So I'm still going back to my old ways of searching. I add this little speech bubble with a heart and an enamel dot to this picture. And here is where I'm like, all right, let's stamp this out. And I'm first pull these out, but they're very big. And as you can tell, it's bigger than the lines. And for some reason, I thought they were small, but they're not as small as I thought. And I've already have this pretty sped up, or as sped up as my iMovie will allow. So unfortunately, I can't speed it up anymore. I thought I was going to use that stamp that I just pulled out to add week 1, but then I changed my mind. So see, I'm going through my stamps, I'm looking for them, and I'm like, why am I not using my catalog? As I sit here, right? I'm like, what the heck? I do end up using it because I do end up realizing that I have the perfect stamp, and it's also from this collection, from Simple Stories. But it takes, sometimes some things take me like a minute to for it to actually like click and be like, duh, Beatrice, what is wrong with you? And I still think there it is. I knew exactly where it was because, as you can see, that $ means that it is a 4x6, and SS means it's Simple Stories, so I know exactly where it is. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the 0 all the way down. So I could do 0, 1, 0, 2, and so on. And I am now going to go ahead and stamp each one of those numbers. I would like to add more stamping as I get used to it, because that's not one of the things that I've used. I've done a lot. I've been more of a stamp collector than a stamp user. So hopefully with cataloging my stamps, it will help me use them more often. And I do like how it looks. And then I'm just going to use my fountain pen to write in what each of the stories are. And I'm not even sure what stories I tell. So we'll see now that I'm writing them. Oh, I just write Happy New Year's. And headlines from all the local papers. Although Miami's not local, but it's okay. Number 2 becomes, oh, how Geo props up the phone so that he can talk to me. And then story 3 is Angelo and actually that top picture, he's learned how to hang up on me. And you can see his mother holding his hand because he has his finger out and he's ready to hit the red button when we're on FaceTime. Number 4 is he's also always doing something with something else in his mouth. So that's story number 4. Story number 5 is the steaks and how I was going to cook them, and they were delicious. Story 6 is that I spoke to my cousin, which there's no picture of because we spoke on the phone for 2 hours, and it was awesome. And that is my cousin that I met because of Ancestry. And then story 7 is about the package that he was able to send since he lives down in South Florida, and it just makes it so easy and so convenient. And he sent it to our family in Cuba. And then I wrote, what a week. So let's see, what else do we have? Anything else? I think I put a sticker that says can't ever forget. And then I added a little heart to the fresh start, and that's going back into the page protector. And that's the left page. Now we're going to work on the right page. And I think here's where I go and just grab a page protector. I'm not sure. Maybe not. So I'm adding some little enamel dots. And then I'm thinking maybe I can add something here. No, that doesn't happen. But I do remember that I have a stamp that says, what does it say? I don't remember. It says something like, this was delicious, or it's from, I think, Paper Person Shop, or maybe Feed Your Craft. All, what does it say? All ate this and loved it. That's what it says. So I was kind of looking for a little label that I can stamp that on because I wasn't sure if it would show up. And I was going to use that stamp, and I don't think I end up using it. I think I end up using these and spelling out yum. Yeah, I don't think I end up using the stamp. So I spelled out yum. I cut off a little bit off the top. It's not exactly straight, but it's okay. It'll work. We're going to add another little enamel dot. And another one here where it says loving this. And then this will be a year to remember. Now, oh, and in this card, I talk about my grandson Angelo because he's going to be a year old already next month. Like, where did this time go? He's almost 11 months. I believe he'll be 11 months next week. And I just wrote a little bit about him. Angelo is almost 11 months. He is such a happy boy. He crawls super fast, loves to eat, dot, 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 everything. He learned how to hang up on me on FaceTime. Let's see what else. Has very light curly hair and is super fair skin. He is such a delight, and he really is. He's such a good baby. Although we're starting to see his personality when he doesn't get his way, he is like, you could tell he gets mad. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to spell out his name on this card. And sometimes spelling backwards, it takes me a minute. And this is a Simple Stories alpha book. And what I like about these stickers is that they're flat. They're just very thin, and they will not create a lot of bulk. And this card is pretty much going to be completed now. And that's going there. Now we're just going to maybe add a little bit more enamel dots. And I really do feel like this year will be a year to remember. Thanks for watching.